G'day and welcome back to my channel. Now it's spring here down under in Australia. I know you guys are all getting bloody wet and windy up there in Northern Hemisphere. Wet and windy is a bit like one of my ex-wives. But here it's lovely and sunny and the birds are bloody shining and the grass is singing and it's wonderful. So I thought it's about time I did another one of these Workbench and new kits. Yes, it's time for me to have another one of those. Oops. Now, the last one was so well received, and a few of you gave me suggestions. You said I need to add extra rivets. No. I don't think I want to be one of those. So let's get rid of that, and let's get on with this edition of Workbench and new kits. I have got a lot to show you. Now, I've got a whole pile of kits down here, and I want to go through them. And I'm going to start with new kits, right? I'll do the Workbench segment second. Yeah, I'm in Australia. We're upside down, mate. Okay, so I acquired this. It's lovely. It's a Hella 1/60th. Well, it's basically the same ship that the Normans 1066 came across and invaded England, right? But basically it's a Viking ship, and I'm just going to do it up as a Viking ship, and that's what I'm going to do. And I really enjoy this kind of genre. I like my ships. I've been collecting quite a few. In fact, this segues to the next box, right? So I picked that one up at just a couple of shekels. It wasn't much at Bloody Hobby Club. The boxes are getting bigger, guys, so you'll have to stand a bit further back from your screen. This was on sale at B&A. B&A is a big hobby store, an online hobby store in Melbourne. And they have some great bargains. And this was my childhood dream kit. I'd ordered it once and saved up all my pocket money, and then my parents found out. And they said, you can't spend that on a bloody model kit, because it was like about 6 months pocket money for me. This is a very expensive. This is the 144 Wasser. It's big. I mean, I built little ships. I built about 5 of the tiny little Golden Hinds. They cost about $1 each or something. This was a lot of money, and this was like all my pocket money I'd saved up. So I never got to buy it. I never got to build it as a kit. And the years went by, and I got fattier and fattier. And then this came up half price, because its new price is still not cheap. This came up half price on B&A because they're getting rid of a few stock that, wasn't moving. And it moved all the way to my place, I tell you. I was so excited to grab this. So more of that later, because this is a beautiful ship. Yeah, it's an old kit, but it's Airfix. And although, yeah, it's a red box, and generally, as I've said, if the old white box kits, put your teeth in, Harry, in here. The old white box kits have just been reboxed into red box, and that can be a bit flashy and horrible. But no, this is not a kit that's had a lot of runs through the mould, right? It's not. It's a sort of a small demographic of builders. There's a big word for you. You look that one up. Yeah, there's not a lot of us that build ships. Ships. Yeah. So the mould, what I'm trying to say is, right? What I'm trying to say is the moulding's still pretty bloody good, pretty crisp. I'll do a review on this next year, and I'm hoping to build it fairly soon because I'm really excited about this. Most of the work's going to go into the painting. I mean, there's so much filigree, but I have a ball. I love that. I will go ballistic. All right, now, things are going to get a bit bigger here. Remember last time I had Malcolm, I think it was. Malcolm said, got this kit, do you want it? I'll send it over to you from the States. And I was just expecting some little thing. And there's friggin' huge Spitfire turned up, 1/24th, right? Enormous bloody thing. Thanks, Malcolm. And I haven't thanked you enough for that. And I will get to it one day. I will get to it. It's on my list, but So, as if I didn't have enough to do on my workbench, my friend Paul down in Brisbane said, look, I've got this sort of deceased estate thing with all these kits, and they're all mixed up and jumbled, and bits are in boxes. And I've got this one kit, and it's got instructions, but all the parts are loose everywhere. There's no decals. No idea. It's probably junk. It's probably rubbish. Who knows? Do you want it anyway? And, of course, I said, yeah, well, I'll take a free kit. I don't think the screen is going to be big enough. Oh, there. Look at the size of that. Right, we'll have to go this way because it's this way maybe. It's bursting out of its box. It is huge, right? It is bloody enormous. So I'll just sort of put it over here while I talk. Well, that's my weightlifting for today done. Yeah, got to do 30 minutes of it. Right, when they say you've got to do 30 minutes exercise a day, I thought I could just lie in bed and... no, we don't want to talk about that. Right, by myself too. Now, this Stuka, right, I'm going to have to put it down. It is too big and the box is exploding. So, well, down you go, mate. Down you go. Right. Whew. Now, this Airfix Stuka, which is a white box, right? And you know how I love a white box Airfix kit because it usually means it's less bagged because the mould will be new, the moulding's new. So I got it out and I wasn't feeling well and I sort of, I had a day where couldn't be bothered modelling, wasn't feeling well. So I got this kit out, thought I'll go through, see what's missing, see if it's, throw it in the bin or what I can do with it. And I found a photograph of the sprues online because Airfix doesn't generally give you a sprue map, which is their thing. They just don't do that. They never have. Probably never will. I don't know why. Airfix! Get with the program. Put sprue maps in your kit instructions. Anyhow, they probably won't. Probably not listening. But anyhow, found a pick, right? And I went, oh, okay. There was a few parts missing off the pick, but I thought, well, I can use that to see what's going on with mine. So it took me about 2 to 3 hours to go through the kit. There's a lot of parts. And I found every single coloured plastic part. They were all there. All the parts. All of them. And I went through the instructions then because I thought, well, I've filled the sprues. There seems to be a part and I'd guessed the ones that were missing from the photo that I found. And I went, I think I've got a complete kit. I've lucked out here. A free, complete kit. Bloody hell. Then I went through the instructions and I found what was missing. And it wasn't the rubber tyres. I had those. And, it wasn't all the other parts. And the fuselage, the wings, the bits, the bobs. Every fiddly bit was there. But there was no clear sprue. So there was no canopy. And the canopy actually includes a bit of the fuselage, the way they've cleverly made it, so that you can glue it in without wrecking the clear canopy. And then you can mask it all off and get a nice, perfect seam, which is quite lovely. It's quite well engineered. It's a very clever little kit, actually. Of all the old 1970s 1/24th Airfix kits, this was, I believe, the last one. And by all reports, it was the it's not really English, the bestest, mostest engineered one. So the Spitfire that I've got was the first one. It's okay, but it's a 1/24th Spitfire. What are you going to do? They got better and better and better and better. And by the time I got Stuka, they'd really punched out a good mould. So we have a missing clear sprue. And I thought, well, does Airfix still sell this? And lo and behold, check on the website. Yes, they've reboxed it and they still have this kit. So I thought, So I sent them an email and said, guys, have you got this sprue? I'm missing, this sprue, whatever it was, sprue C for clear. I forget what it was. And they emailed me back and said, yeah, look, we've got it in stock. Give us a phone call, give us your credit card and we'll do something. And I thought, oh, okay. So I rang them. I had to ring them like late at night for me to get early morning there, because apparently you guys are too lazy to have the same time as us. Can't figure that out for myself. Anyhow, so there was, late at night, I'm ringing up, g'day, and I got this nice lady on the phone, and she knew exactly what I was on about, had my email there, went bingo bongo, took my money, it was only a couple of shekels, and that included postage. And I thought, oh, okay. And less than a week later, all the way from Old Blighty, came my canopy. Brand new, brand spanking new. So this kit's only cost me a couple of shekels, and I've got every single part. Well, I don't have decals, right? But I can get a masking kit for this for another shekel. Or I could even just mask them up myself. I mean, basically they're all square crosses, although there's insignia and letters. So I'm going to get the masking kit. I'll get the masking kit, which on a large scale model, it's often better to mask and paint than try and put decals on because, you get a better result. And it's big enough you can work with, large masks. So that's the plan for that one. So the Spitty big one and the Stuka big one, they're on my list for next year. I really want to get into those two. They'll be fantastic. All right, just when you thought things couldn't get any bigger, you better really stand back for this one. Oh, gee, bloody hell! Oh God! Oh, it's a turd piss. Yes. This. Well, my friend Bernard, I have to put it down. These kids are just getting too big. Really got to get back to the gym. So my friend Bernard had said for a while, he was keeping a lookout for a Revell Bismarck for me. Because I'd had the Tamiya kit and it's pretty ordinary. It's pretty basic. You have to spend a lot of time and a lot of trouble on it. And ships are pretty fiddly and complicated, right? They're not just like bloody aeroplanes. You slap a couple of wings on and chuck the undercarriage on and bingo bongo. No, ships are very complicated. So, and I usually like to go wood deck and barrels and a bit of PE. And it looked like it was going to be almost a total rebuild to fix the Tamiya kit. So what I did was I got rid of that and I thought I'll keep an eye out, as Bernard suggested, for the Revell Bismarck, which is so much better. I mean, it's twice the price, but then it's a lot better. It's worth it. And lo and behold, Revell brought out the turd piece in a deluxe version. I forget whatever they call it, gold, class, star, whatever, super duper version. And it had the deck and the PE and everything like that. And Bernard had snapped that up and he got that for a really good price. So he had the special limited edition, I think they call them. So his old turd piece, he went, Harry, do you want this? So he sold it to me for a really good price. And by the time I actually sourced some metal barrels and a wood deck and a little bit of PE for it, still well under even the new price for that kit without the extras. So a real bonus and bargain there. So I lucked out there, and that's a beauty. That's going to be on the long-term list. I mean, I've got quite a few ships. As you know, I think I've sort of got to the end of buying ships because, well, really, how long am I going to live? Now, if you thought that was the biggest kit that's come across my workbench lately, prepare to have your socks blown off. Check your socks. Ready? Hang on to your socks. I was on the interweb at some late hour of the night and as usual somebody said, there's a sale and they've got ships. And oh dear, that's like a red rag or a bull for me. So it was HobbyLink Japan. They had this big sale on and off and you could get some really good bargains. So I found this ship, and it's an expensive ship, and literally 1/3 the retail price that you would get or you would pay pretty well in Europe and America. And it wasn't the exact one, but it was the kind of ship that I've been looking for. I actually wanted a different scale one by a different brand that would have a few more features. But that would be a lot more money. Anyhow, without further ado, it's going to have to go back. It's if I brought it into camera, right, it's bigger than me. Yes, it's huge. Now, this is a hella, I don't even think I get reflect. It's so big, I can't find an angle. There we go, get reflections of it. It's a hella, a Leshebek, right? Pirate ship. And it has oars and sails. And it's a fantastic thing. And this kit is ginormous. This is nearly as big as my 172nd submarine. Yes, which, I don't know, a few of you have covered it there on top of my stash. This is enormous. And at the price I paid for it, fantastic. Postage, yeah, it just about killed me with the postage. I mean, I saved a lot of money and the postage was nearly as much as the kit. But all in all, it still ended up being a good price, even with postage. And it's a kit we can't find over here. You probably got them in your part of the world, but we rarely see them. So Leshebek, and that's, look, I would love to get that. It actually, put it down. Oh, that's my weightlifting for today. It actually doesn't have a lot of parts. I mean, there's a fair few, but it's nothing like 1,000 parts or something. It's only like 100 or 150 parts. But the work will be in detailing it and rigging it, and there's lots of little fiddly things to do, which I love doing that sort of stuff. So that is going to be a barrel of fun, and it's such a big scale that I should be able to get my fat wombat fingers in there and make a real go of it. There are some aftermarket bits and pieces you get for it, but I won't worry about even thinking about that until I crack the box, and I want to do that as a video that we actually open the boxes. It's still sealed. I'm too scared to get in there, actually. But no, that's the beauty. All right, so those are the new kits. And as you can see, that's taken up a good portion of this video, hasn't it? Yes. So if you've fallen asleep, wake up! There's more to come. We've got to get back to the workbench part of a video. I'm talking in a much softer voice now for any of you that just had a recent shock from that bellow, that you'll now have this soothing voice. I'll deepen my voice too. Would you like that? people have complained I've got a squeaky voice. Well, I do. I've got a big squeaky Australian voice. So well, I can't say that word anymore. No, apparently we've monetised some of the videos. Yes, I'm trying to somehow pay for this bloody obsession. And they've been badgering me about it for long enough, so I've monetised a few of them. We'll see how we go. So if the ads come up, just let them run through. Go make a cup of tea. Come back, let them run through. Gives me like 2 cents. Right, where were we? Okay, so on the bench, all right, the Varag, yes, that's coming along nicely. I have had some progress videos for that, and I've got another one coming up. All the plastic is completed on it, painted, ready to go. I'm just going to do some weathering and some washes through there. The brass parts are next, so the mast, the stairs, the ladders, and the railings. That's what's going in. Oh, and the rat lines. I've actually got PE rat lines for it. And then we'll rig it. So the next video will probably just be brass. Okay, a brassy house. Now also there was a group build, a spacey one, and I got into that in winter. And I was all enthusiastic, but then if you watch my other videos, you know a whole lot of things happened to me in winter time. You know, romantic entanglements. We won't talk about those. Anyhow, I started this one. The Revell Battlestar. I wanted to build this for years. I'd had it sitting in the stash, just hadn't got around to it. So I did get it started, and I got it basically dry fitted, and I even got to the point where I built it so that I could put screws in underneath, head them in there so I could unscrew the sub-assemblies so I could get in to wire it. And I didn't really know much about wiring something that big, so I contacted a guy, and he back and forth, we had some correspondence, and then we kind of missed each other and forgot about each other. And by the time I'd really worked out exactly how to wire it, how to make everything happen, because I even worked out a way to make the engines flash. I actually got some lamps that, you know, that they're actually for arc welding in railways, you know, the little arc welders, but they strobe beautifully for motors on spaceships. So yeah, anyhow, enough of that. Let's just say I got so far and then the group build finished. Oops. So I didn't get to paint it, didn't get to do anything. It's just been sitting basically dry fitted on my workbench there, looking really nice. I rather admire it, but it's not lit. So I'm going to get on to that. That'll be something. I've got to get a few other things out of the way. I've got to get the Varag out the way. That's got to go into competition, and it's a few other things. Now, there's a fart. No. I can never pronounce that word. A Fiat 500. Yes, this is the this is Jason's build that he asked me to do. That I've been dragging in the tooth. Anyway, I did get into it. I got onto it. I got the chassis, actually the body. The body's all made, and the doors are hung. That would be sort of fiddly, and they work, and everything's going on. And the bonnet and the boot all sort of flap and everything. Everything's really good. And then I was about to. I've got all the other parts out that would need to be primed or painted. The lovely white gloss. Well, it's an ivory sort of colour, which I'd got a lacquer. I'd actually got a rattle can lacquer to get a really nice, glossy, smooth coat on this thing because he wanted it to match his die-cast kits that he's got. So I was all ready to do that, and then this happened. It All Scary, for some reason, had put all the injection bloody mole points on the side that you see, not on the side inside that's hidden. No, all the way through inside the door frames and the back of the boot and everything and the firewalls. And all of them, every single one of them had the sink, well, not sink marks, they're injection pin marks, exactly where you would see them. Even when there was like other parts there that would have fitted over and you think you design it so that they'd be covered. No. They managed to avoid all those completely. There's a lovely, nice flat bit where those parts went. And these injection pin marks were all exposed. And I thought about, no, bugger it, I'll just do it. And I went, no, look, I can't do that. I have to do a decent job. So I have been filling and sanding and farting around with that. So that's sort of as far as I've got with the fart. Yes. The fart sort of started to make me feel a bit sick. I couldn't squeeze it out. Oh, there's a BMW. Yes, it's a motorcycle. Yes, an Airfix one, white box. And it's lovely. And I've been pottering around with that in between everything else because I sort of have been busy with work, so I've only like an hour here, an hour there. So I've been doing lots of little projects and just sort of, you know, doing a little bit on something that's easy. I can just pull out, potter on it, put away. It's nothing serious, nothing I have to stress or worry about or, you know, well, not that you should have to, but if I've got a big build and it's coming towards the end, I want to really spend some time on it and do a good job. So a lot of those sort of builds, and as you can see, well, you'll see shortly, I've got a few of them. Anyhow, so the BMW is coming together really nicely. Love that. It's all primed and basically dry fitted and set up for the most part. I'm very happy with that. What helped? There's an apple crumble. Actually, this is a HMS Abercrombie. Now, I bought this kit because I wanted a monitor. She wanted the Roberts monitor, but then this one came out and it was the Abercrombie. I thought, oh, it's so interesting, so good. And I like trumpeter ships, so I bought it. And I had seen there stashed for a while. My friend Chris, he kept saying, oh, I really like that, I really like that, I really like to build a ship. Oh, it looks good. And then one day he made me an offer for it. And I thought, well, I can always buy it again. It's not a kit that's really hard to find. You know, in fact, the prices are actually coming down from what I paid. I paid brand new price when it arrived because I was so excited. So I let him have it. Sold it to him for a bit less than what I paid for it, so at a good market price. And months dragged by, and all he managed to do was get the hull together and he put the decks on. And he farted around a little bit and made up the gun. It's only got one big turret and a couple of the other guns, and that was it. And then I think he got bored. I think he decided ships weren't his thing. So he said, Harry, do you want this kit back? And I thought, oh, you've started it, mate. I'm not going to pay you much for it. He said, no, you can have it for free. So I ended up swapping him a bloody Star Wars something or other lying around there for it. But anyhow, so I scored back my Apple Crumble. Admittedly, he'd already started it, but he hadn't done much. But then I got stuck into it one afternoon, just trying to see what he had done, what hadn't he done, and I dry fed a lot of it together. And I built up superstructure, a few other things. So I've got a lot of the sub-assemblies done on that, and I'd really like to get on with that. But I must finish the Varric, so the Varric's got to get done. That brings me to think there's a submarine around here too that's got to get done as well, but I'll get back to that. Now I've got a messy shit. But this video is all about farts and crapping. No, a Messerschmitt. Yes, the Tamiya Messerschmitt. I started that at a club meeting, and I had my reservations about Tamiya kits when I'd been sourly disappointed with the T-76 and the what was the other thing, the amphibious vehicle, and and I wasn't really that thrilled. Now there's Messerschmitt. Well, let's just say it's moulded nicely. It went together easily, and at some point during the build, I think I fell asleep. It's not my kind of kit. I mean, I like a bit of a challenge. Like that Matchbox one, I was quite happy to take an old kit that had a lot of problems, rip it all to pieces and rebuild it and come up with something. Put myself into it, make it uniquely mine. That when someone looked at it, go, that's Harry Houdini's kit, because, it's nothing like the original kit. It's all been totally reconstructed. And that's what, I do. And that's my build. That's my modus operandi. So Tamiya kit, yeah, it went together beautifully and it all cemented up and... maybe the fun will come when I paint it. Apparently that's what they all say to me. Say they're designed so you can build them quickly and they go together well, and then you have your fun painting them. I'm a builder. I'm an assembler. Well, I'm a converter, changer. I'm a root arounder, basically. Yes, just like a wombat. I eat roots and leaves. Oh dear, what's on my list? Well, that's about the last thing that I was building. Then I actually managed to finish some kits. And as you know, I knocked out that Greek warship. Did a video on that. Yeah, that was fun. That was a good little thing. I made a Zeppelin. This was fun. I might do a video on this one. It was another one that was just a little... Actually, it was another free kit from the backer. He said, oh, the Zeppelin, I don't really want it. Do you want it? And it's not the World War I or even the Hindenburg. It's not a great big Zeppelin. It's the modern, what's called NT, new technology. It's the modern Zeppelin. It's more a blimp, okay? But I thought, and I looked at it and went, I've always wanted to build like a Hindenburg or something like that, or a Graf Zeppelin. What if I painted this like an old World War I Zeppelin? So I had to add some rib taping to it to build up the body to get more of the shape of the old ones, which are a lot more scalloped. This thing's sort of more perfectly round. And I did a whole lot of work to sort of mess around with it, and then I sprayed it silver and various edges and painted panels, and I messed around with it. And I had a ball, actually. It was a fun little project. I only sort of did a little bit every now and then, but I ended up really enjoying it. And the finished result, I was so pleased with it. I even took it into club, put it into competition. Haven't heard if I got a place. Don't really care. I just put it in because it was so different. It was so much fun. And remember, for me, if you haven't watched my channel before, it's all about enjoying the hobby. Yes, I do like to do my best, and I like to build kits that, are interesting, and I like to go to sort of a lot of detail, but the thing that I most like to do is have fun. Building models for me is relaxation, and it's a way to unwind and, basically degas. More farting jokes. Anyhow, moving on. Yeah, I got the Zeppelin done, right? And checking my list. There's so much on this list. One afternoon, I knocked out a submarine. Yeah, this is just a little egg. I think it's a Fujimi kit. Little egg I-400. I actually built it in an afternoon. Haven't painted it. You get 2 in the kit. So I thought I'll just build one, see how they go together. I used the stickers and everything for it. And it's so cute. It's so fun. It was just something that I did. And I thought, oh, well, I'll build the other one. I'll take a bit more time and I'll paint it. And I'll paint up everything and I'll weather it and see how it comes. But that was fun. And there's nothing wrong with those egg kits. If you just got a little bit of time and you want to have a bit of fun, you know, they can be good. And you can go and fully detail them and carry on like I've done in some of my kits as well. They are good. Now, Christmas present was a Honda motorbike, which wasn't sort of something I'd normally buy. But that encouraged me actually to buy that BMW R69, and I've loved that. But this is a little Aoshima kit, a Honda Ape. And I painted it up. There wasn't much to paint on it, actually. Mostly, again, this is one of those kits you just click together a little bit of glue and away she goes, like a bandit kit. And then I also had lying around a Bandai kit, an actual Bandai kit of an X-Wing that I clicked it all together with the idea to pull it apart and paint it. And although that's true for some of the parts I was going to be out, they can still pull apart. The main part of the body, which has a big blue stripe and everything, I couldn't get that apart again. It was so friction fitted together that I was bugging. I wasn't going to be able to actually do it. So it sat there for ages thinking, oh, what the hell am I going to do? Anyhow, there was an afternoon and I was sort of thinking, what shall I do, what shall I do? And I'd moved that kit from the display cabinet out in the lounge where I had it, which basically I thought I'd sort of considered it finished. And thought, I won't paint it now, it's too hard. And I thought, no, and I put it into my little workbench cabinet here, which reminds me these are the kits I should be building, Harry. And I thought I'll have a go with live colour, mixed up the blue, matched it, and I started painting. Actually, I looked at the decals first. There was decals to put on there to match the blue, and I went, I don't really like the idea of the decals and then this plastic. I thought, I really should paint this kit. So I did. I mixed up the blue, painted it through, and I got this result. And I'm really pleased that I did. I've still got a little more detailed painting to do on it, and there are a few little decals that'll go on. But basically, it's just about finished, and I'm so glad that I took the time to actually paint it. And I'll do a bit of weathering on it too, so I might even do a video on that. It's a fun little kit. And again, that's another one that's pretty easy to build, but I don't know, they're different to Tamiya. I don't expect, when I get a Bandai kit, I don't expect that it's a difficult build. And I just click, you know, it's just fun. Okay, whereas I'm going to build a mesh cement, I want some challenge. Enough of that. And what? Last on my list. Actually, I've got to the end of my list. Can you believe it? Well, this weekend, I finished this. I'd had this little glider for quite some time. And I got around to building it. It was only like 12 parts. And I'd modified the build a little bit to add some little actuators on the flaps so that I could basically rig those up. And I'd only got to the prime stage and I started to mask the ribbing on it because I wanted to do that ribbing effect. But I wasn't really sure about it. And if you've seen videos earlier this year, you might know there was a flea. Yes, a flow, a DFW-28, a World War I aeroplane, which looks like a flea. And I had done a lot of work masking and painting the ribs to get the effect of the sunlight shining through, you know, because basically these are just aeroplanes with wooden formers, ribs, and then they've got doped fabric on there. And even when they're painted, the sunlight shines through. So it's sort of a case of you try to get that effect if you're trying to replicate what it would really look like. So I carried on with this because the photos I had of this glider really showed the sunlight through because basically the wings weren't painted. They were just clear linen that had been doped. So I thought, oh, I'll just have a go at masking this. I might just spend the morning doing that on Saturday morning. I had a coffee and thought, I might just do a bit of masking on this just to warm myself up. And then I'll get stuck into the varrock. Well, one thing led to another, as you can see. And then this happened. Yes, I finished it. I mean, it sort of had gone so far, I thought, well, might as well keep going because I'm actually enjoying it and I'm quite pleased with the effect that I'm getting. And this is an effect that's going to be very useful later on for like wingnut, bloody teeth. Wingnut wings kits when I want to get that ribbing effect and everything. So I thought I'll keep going and I think I'm onto something here. And I did. I managed to get that effect. And even though it's a tiny little kit and it costs like half a shekel, I think. It was just one at a rummage sale somewhere that I'd picked up. There was a Willy Wong one. Anyway, you know Willy Wong? Yeah. A little Willy Wong's $5 shekel. So, sorry, $5 specials, half a shekel. And So yeah, so I knocked that up, painted that all up, spent the whole weekend on it. Again, I had fun. And that's it. My modelling is all about enjoyment first. Yes, I do build some stuff for competition, and yeah, I do get stuck into some really complex sort of kits, and I do all that, you know. But if I'm not enjoying it, I don't do it. That's my motto. So you see me chop and change and jump around, and it's because sometimes I really just want something that's going to be fun, and also I usually need something to take along to club and you know, and all these sort of things. And so I need different kits for different times and my different moods. Yes, quite moody. Apparently, ask all my ex-wives. All right, well, that's my workbench and new kits for spring. Hope you enjoyed it. I know it's dragged on a little bit. Sorry about that. Oh dear. Oh well, get on with your life. That's it. Bugger off. Build some models. Hooroo.